Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 7 and we choose the case for study is airline management during the COVID-19 pandemic. Firstly, the COVID-19 pandemic severely disrupted the global aviation industry due to travel restriction, border closure, and a significant decline in passenger demand. As a result, airlines around the world faced major financial loss and operational difficulties. In Malaysia, the situation became more challenging when the government implemented Movement Control Order or MCO. During this period, most flights were grounded, which placed heavy pressure on airline operation, workforce management, and cash flow. For our study case, we focus on Malaysia Airlines and Air Asia, the two leading airlines in Malaysia. Although both airlines operated within the same aviation environment and were affected by the same pandemic condition, they adopted different management approach. This is because Malaysia Airlines is a full-service carrier, while AirAsia operates under a low-cost carrier business model. This difference in business model influenced how each airline managed the crisis, including their cost control measure, operational decision, and recovery strategies. Through this study, we aim to understand how different airlines management strategies were applied during the COVID-19 pandemic and how business models influenced their response. Assalamualaikum. In this part, I will explain the background of this case. Malaysian Aviation Group, also known as MAG and AirAsia, are the main airline companies in Malaysia. MAG is the parent company of Malaysia Airlines, such as Firefly, MS Wings, and several other aviation services. Both MAG and AirAsia provide domestic and international flight service. However, in the year 2020, the aviation industry was badly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Malaysian government implemented strict travel restrictions to control the virus. Land and air travel were temporarily stopped, which caused a sharp decrease in passenger demand. As a result, both airlines experienced a significant drop in revenue. Even though flights were reduced, the company still had to bear high fixed costs such as aircraft maintenance and operating expense. This situation caused serious financial pressure on both airlines. To manage this problem, the management of both companies decided to reduce operating costs by cutting salaries. Malaysia Aviation Group implemented a 10% salary and allowance cut for senior management for 3 months. Meanwhile, AirAsia applied salary cuts to all senior management. AirAsia stated that this decision was made to protect lower-income employees and to avoid large-scale layoffs during the pandemic. Overall, the salary cuts was strategic action taken to stabilize business operation, manage cash flow, and help the company survive during the COVID-19 crisis. That's all for this part. Thank you.
For the next one, I will presenting about the ethical issues faced by the airline management, which is Malaysia Airlines and AirAsia during the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly in relation to salary cuts and workforce-related decisions. First, the fairness of salary cuts. Both airlines implemented salary reductions to survive the financial crisis. While this may be necessary, it raises ethical concerns as employees were required to bear the burden of a crisis beyond their control, while also facing economic uncertainty themselves. Second, transparency in decision-making. Significant changes were made to employment terms, such as salary cuts and unpaid leave. Ethically, management should ensure clear and honest communication. A lack of transparency may reduce employee trust and create feelings of unfair treatment. Third, employee concern and job security. Many employees perceive these measures as imposed rather than negotiated. This raises concerns about informed consent and job security, as layoff and reduced working hours affected employees' financial and mental well-being. Lastly, corporate responsibility toward employee welfare. While business survival is important, companies also have a moral responsibility to protect employee welfare. Ethical decision-making requires balancing financial recovery with fairness and compassion, especially during a crisis. In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic revealed ethical challenges related to fairness, transparency, job security, and corporate responsibility in Malaysia Airlines and AirAsia.
Next, I will present about ethical framework and corporate governance analysis. First one is the MIA bylaw on professional ethics. They provide guidelines for ethical decision making in organizations, especially during crisis situations. Although they are designed for accounting professionals, these principles are also relevant to corporate management. The first principle is integrity. Organization must be honest and transparent in their communication. For example, salary reduction at Malaysia Airlines and AirAsia may arise ethical issues if employees are not clearly informed, as this can reduce trust. And secondly is objectivity. Management should make fair and unbiased decisions, especially during the pandemic. Ethical issues arise when financial survival is prioritized over employee welfare. And lastly, professional behavior. Companies must follow law and ethical standards. Although wage cuts may be legal, unfair or unclear implementation can damage employee morale and company reputation. The second point is corporate governance principle under MCCG. The MCCG emphasizes ethical leadership and good governance during crisis. The board of directors must ensure cost-cutting decisions are ethical and consider stakeholder interests, not just for short-term survival. Effective risk and crisis management is important to avoid any unfair action, such as sudden salary cuts. And transparency is required to maintain trust, especially when communicating decisions like unpaid leave or wage reduction. And lastly, organization must engage stakeholders, particularly employees, as ethical governance consider all parties affected. And the last point is Islamic business ethic. Okay, so Islamic business ethic focus on justice, trust, and social responsibility. First, adil means fairness. Salary cuts or unpaid leave become unethical if they affect lower income employees more than others. Next, amanah refer to trust and responsibility. Employee must protect employee welfare and communicate decisions honestly. And lastly, ihsan goes beyond legal requirement. During a crisis, organizations should show compassion by providing support and assistance to employees.
Next, I will present about recommendation. First, transparent communication is very important. Management should communicate openly with employees before implementing actions such as salary cuts or unpaid leave. Employees need to understand the financial situation of the company, the reason behind this decision, and how long to measure will last. This helps to maintain trust and reduce uncertainty among employees. Second, fair cost sharing should be practiced. The company should not place the burden only on employees. Instead, top management and executive should take higher pay cuts and reduce non-essential expenses. This shows ethical leadership and a sense of shared responsibility during difficult times. Third, companies should focus on employee support and reform. This includes providing financial advice, counseling service, retraining program, and redeployment opportunities. Strengthening corporate social responsibility practice can also help improve employee welfare and long-term organizational reputation. Next, effective crisis and risk management is essential. Companies should develop ethical crisis management strategy and contingency plans that consider employee rights and the impact on all stakeholders when making decisions. Lastly, stakeholder engagement plays a crucial role. Organizations should actively engage with employees, unions, regulators, customers, and shareholders. By balancing business survival with ethical leadership, companies can build trust and achieve long-term sustainable even
during a crisis.
To conclude, the COVID-19 pandemic severely affected the airline industry in Malaysia. Travel restrictions and border closures caused a sharp decline in passenger numbers, creating major financial pressure on airlines. Both Malaysia Airlines and AirAsia faced serious challenges during this period. However, their responses to the crisis differed. Malaysia Airlines relied heavily on government support and underwent restructuring to ensure its survival. In contrast, AirAsia focused on cost control measures and business diversification in order to remain financially stable. These strategies allowed both airlines to adapt to the crisis in different ways. Overall, both airlines made preparations for a recovery after the pandemic. This crisis highlights the importance of effective crisis management, strong corporate governance, and continuous innovation to ensure long-term sustainability in the airline industry. That's all from our group. Thank you.